So for this one, first thing, the volume of a can of soda is this much. Box this in. This is the actual answer that we usually look for, right? And a can of soda, what shape is that? So make a note that it is cylinder. A can is a cylinder. All right, and then it says it's 8 inches tall. Which value is that, height or radius? That is definitely height, so I'm going to make a note that this is the height. I'm going to put an H by it. They're asking us what is the radius, so R is what I'm finding. Now the volume of a cylinder is going to be pi r squared h. I'm looking for R, so they should have given me H and V, right? What is the volume? And then pi, I don't know R, so it's R squared. And what is the height? Height is 8. Now, this is just like solving an equation. Think of this equation, this is just a value with a variable, like 3x or 5x. The value just looks like pi and 8 together. Everything over here is being multiplied. What's the opposite of multiplication? Okay, so we are going to divide to undo it. Now, we could go step by step. We could take that and divide by 8, and then write it down, and then divide the other one by pi and write that down. That'd be 2 more steps. Or we could just recognize that 8 and pi are both being multiplied, so let's just take them both out at the same time. When I do that, they cancel. What's left? What's left here? R squared, so equals R squared. Now type this in your calculator exactly as it is. 402.12 divided by 8 pi.
25.1.
I got 15.9998, so it's just 16. So 16 is the radius squared. Did I find the radius? I found radius squared. What's the opposite of squaring a value? So square root 16. What's the square root of 16? So 4 is the radius. That is your final answer. All right, the next one, a basketball. What shape is that? So we are going to be working with the sphere formula. So sphere is V equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Basketball is a sphere. All right, the volume is given. The volume is this number, 523.6. So I would box that in because we are used to boxing in our answers. All right, what is the diameter? Well, is diameter in this formula? No, but how can I find diameter? By knowing the radius, right? So really what we need to do is solve for the radius, and then once we get the radius, we just double it, because diameter is twice the radius. All right, so let's put in information we do know. We know that the volume is 523.6, and then it's 4/3 pi, and we don't know what r is yet, do we? Okay, but if I want this alone, all of these are being multiplied, so what do? Divide. I'm dividing by what I need to get rid of, 4/3 pi. Now this is going to look crazy, okay, but it's really not that bad. Just type in 523.6 in your fraction, divided by 4/3 pi. Make sure you got this. It's like, just round it to 125. So this is 125 equals r cubed. Remember, these canceled each other out. That's why we were able to get r cubed alone. All right, what's the inverse of cubing a value? Cube root. So cube root 125, and that's going to give you r. Now remember, to cube root something, clear your calculator, make sure you put 3 second, and then this arrow key right here above your exponent. Let me show you again. 3 second, and then this button here. this one with my finger right here. And then 125. And that value is 5. Did they ask us for the radius? What did they ask for? So now we are going to clearly state that the diameter is what? 10. Now, so if this was multiple choice, chances are I would have had 5 as an answer and 10 as an answer. And the most common mistake would be that somebody chose 5 because they forgot that they were looking for diameter. And that is probably one of the other most common mistakes, is that we just kind of forget what our goal was. All right, and our last example on our notes. A cone has a volume of, so this is the volume. Cone is a cone, right? Okay, so it says it there. The radius is given, so this is r. And what is the height? So we are searching for the height. So v equals 1/3 pi r squared h. The volume is 45 pi. And then 1/3 pi, what is the radius? So 3 squared, and then h is on its own. We need h alone, so we divide by everything that's with h, right? So just divide by 1/3 pi 3 to the second on both sides. Remember, if they divide each other out, they cancel. So h is alone, and our goal was to get height. And so find out what this is. So I'm gonna suggest that you always use the fraction key. So I put 45 pi on the top. I have another fraction in the bottom, 1/3. Come out of it, put pi. And then in parentheses, 3 squared. So that's what it looks like. Okay, I would not want to have to do this by hand at all. Okay. And that equals 15. I was not expecting a whole number of 15, were you? I thought with that mess it'd be something like a decimal. All right, so did they ask us for the height? Yeah. They did, so we are done. This is the height. Box that in. Okay, so if you kind of look at these examples, this top half when you solve for volume, you just typed everything in and multiplied, right? But if something was missing, what was the one step that we were always doing in each one of these? What operation? We were just dividing. So it was very similar, except for, are we multiplying or are we dividing? If they give you the volume, you are going to be doing what? Division. If they give it to you, it's division.